Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tomboy Official. Here on this podcast, we talk about gender and sexuality and identity and LGBTQ plus topics. And, today I wanted to talk a little bit about, roommates when you're kind of when you have some masculine presenting tendencies. So I am kind of debating if I want to do a series about roommates and because I really don't think I can keep it proper without venting and exposing people. I really don't think I can. I think I've done a poor job of that in the past on here with just venting and being like, you guys know, like, once I start talking about these situations, it's really hard for me to just, get back on track. But, something I can talk about because people do tend to like the content related to, gender identity and gender presentation and things like that. I don't want to really call it 100% anxiety provoking, but it's mainly because I have maybe a little bit of a different outlook on things these days that, like I've mentioned, when I moved down to San Diego, I was no longer with my family, living with parents and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like, the clothing I buy, became a lot more mask presenting, because I had to have attire for work. So I kind of was making my own kind of dress codes for stuff. And it's like, I lived with other people, different types of housemates and stuff. And so, it's not like people never saw me come or go to work or wearing clothes and stuff. Like, people saw me when I was, fully dressed leaving, when I was going out on dates. They would see me maybe in front of the house with, if I was getting a ride from a friend or something, or going out and catching an Uber or going out during Pride or whatever. They would see me, they weren't spying, but it's they knew kind of what I was doing. I would have my fitted hats and my board shorts and my button downs and my socks with all these designs on them, and my sneakers and just my normal attire that I would wear, or my work clothes or whatever. It's not like I was ever switching it up wearing dresses or whatever. And I was always polite and nice to people, so nobody was really, I think I mentioned, I only had really one encounter, but I think the person was unfortunately having a psychotic episode. And I don't say that lightly. I think that this person kind of went into delusional kind of states where they were paranoid and things. And they mentioned something about me, being a boy or a girl. They mentioned this once or twice, but I don't think it was very it wasn't their valid opinion or anything like that. And then I had another housemate that was telling me how the roommates next door, because she could hear through the walls on her side, and their bed was there, and she was saying she thought it was a lesbian couple. And the guy who owned the house, at certain times he kept kind of seeming like he was trying to make a point, mentioning I don't care if people are gay or this or that or whatever. And I did kind of have the pride flag in my car on occasions, and I think people knew that I was gay. I wasn't outwardly just shouting it from the mountains or anything, but I mean, like, if anyone had eyes, you know, they would kind of know, like, something's up. And I think I mentioned too that one of my housemates got one of my book deliveries, because he used to get like Amazon mail like almost every day, and he just automatically assumed that the book that was delivered for me was his, and he just kind of accidentally opened it, and it happened to be the book by Danny Max, called Coming Out Happy. I mean, it's definitely a very queer book, like, and so, it was just stuff like that where I'm pretty sure people kind of knew like what was going on, and then I would like take phone calls and stuff, and I'm pretty sure people could hear me talking about like gay stuff or whatever. Like, I wasn't like, I'm a very private person, and I wasn't like, but I did get like comfortable at a certain point where I was like, I'm just being myself, I'm not really hiding anything. I'm not like openly like talking about, I went out on a date with this girl or whatever, but I was, I had a life, and I just lived it, and just wasn't very involved with anybody, and that was basically it. And yeah, yeah, so the reason, something that made me kind of think about this topic was, just because about, wanting to record a bit about roommate situations and stuff that comes up that maybe people don't think about, right? So, like I mentioned, something as simple as like coming or going dressed in a certain fashion, with my masculine presenting clothing on and stuff. It's like, I think people kind of got the hint, at least as far as presentation wise, if nothing else, especially because, like I said, I never switched it up. I was never wearing something more femme, and then, even at work, I kind of almost had like my own dress code. Like, I just kind of did my own thing. Nobody really complained at me about it. And it wasn't a strict dress code there anyways. Like, as long as you were wearing something like, a shirt that wasn't like a logo, like a graphic tee, and like pants that were kind of like maybe not like super baggy pants or whatever. Like, I wore jeans and sneakers and like t-shirts to work sometimes, and it was like maybe like a t-shirt with a pocket with no pictures, or like a pink t-shirt, or like a blue t-shirt or a gray t-shirt, just like a completely plain t-shirt, just because it was comfortable for me. And so there were those things. And then one thing I kind of don't know if I mentioned was like just kind of the experiences of like products in the bathroom and stuff like that. I'd have products like deodorant, like I would use like Axe deodorant or like Men's Dove. Sometimes I keep those in the bathroom. I'd use like men's razors sometimes, like the Gillette ones or whatever. I would use, sometimes I'd use Axe soap. Just stuff like that. And it was in the bathroom, and there was really only one other guy sharing that bathroom, and it wasn't his. Like, he kind of used more like neutral products because he liked like natural stuff, and his products were more like neutral, and I was using a lot of very gendered products. Like, I would switch back and forth between stuff, but I kind of like developed a bit of a preference for like men's deodorant, men's soaps, things like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with using one or the other, like whatever. And then underwear, my roommates weren't really like seeing my underwear. I mean, sometimes I would like fold my stuff and put it on top of the dryer when I had 2 loads so that I could, sort the next load out. And so sometimes I did have like my underwear on top of the dryer and stuff, and you could see like the waistbands and stuff like that. And I always had like a mix of like guys and women's underwear. You know, I'd have like women's like boy short cut like Hanes, usually from like Target or whatever, and then like the Tony Hawk kind of like athletic underwear, and like just like men's jockeys from like, I don't know, they're like Fruit of the Loom from like Walmart or something, you know, just stuff like that. That's just, to me, is more comfortable. And then I remember kind of moving back, well, it was before I moved back to LA. Like, there was one time when I left my clothes in the dryer, and my mom just kind of like folded them up, including the underwear, like, and put them on my sister's bed. And she kind of just like told me, oh yeah, I folded your clothes and put them in your sister's room. Like, my sister wasn't home or anything, and she didn't want to put them in my room, so she put it in her room, because like, you know, my brother and sister were like not at the house. They wouldn't be for like months, and so I guess she didn't want to go in my room or whatever, so she put it somewhere else. And she didn't really say anything other than that. Something kind of funny happened the other day, because my dad's in town, and my mom was doing my dad's laundry, and then there was like a pair of like boxer briefs, and I guess she thought they were mine, so she like, I have like laundry drying, and it was kind of like on a rack drying, and then I think she took those and put it on top of where my laundry's drying, because it was already dry, but it was like my dad's, it wasn't mine. And I think she saw it and assumed it was mine, and I was like, no, it's not mine. And I didn't know what to say, because I was like, this is awkward. But I don't know, that's kind of a funny one for the books. But yeah, it kind of made me think about, you know, those kind of topics about like, you know, I know for some people it might be anxiety provoking, and they'd probably want to hide it or something, you know, and I mean, everyone's situation is different, but, you know, I didn't really hide it. I just was like, well, I'm buying it with my own money. Like, it's not like I'm forcing other people to pay for it for me. And I don't know. I know that, you know, I think it confuses people. Like, I know that there are people in my life that kind of get it and kind of know, but they kind of don't really know what to do. Like, even for Christmas, like 2021 Christmas, my mom got me like sweats, and she was just kind of like, oh yeah, I know that you like looser fitting stuff. And I was just thinking like, well, I like my clothes fitted, but that it's not really looser or fitted. It's just like, I don't really like women's cut with the low necks and the weird like kind of tapered, you know, midsection where they kind of flare out, like the shirts kind of flare out, and like, I don't really like that, you know. I just want like a boxy kind of shirt, just kind of that kind of style. Like, it's not really that it's necessarily loose, it's just that I don't like weird low cleavage showing necklines and that kind of thing. Like, I'm not really going for that. So yeah, I don't really know, dude. It's just, it's hard to even explain, because I don't really have like an explanation. I just go in a store and I'm like, I'm more comfortable with this than that, and so I just buy it. Like, that's like if I'm shopping for certain stuff. And then there's sometimes, you know, I like certain, like, I remember that Paris Hilton perfume. I like that one, and I like those cotton candy smelling lotions, and like, there's some stuff that's kind of more on the femme side that I actually really like a lot too. But I just, I don't really know. I remember getting into an Uber once, not that long ago, like right before I moved, and I don't know where I was going, but I remember I had like just gotten out of the shower, and the Uber driver was like, "Oh, you smell really good," and I was like, "Really?" Like, but it was kind of funny. I don't know what I smelled like, but I had just gotten out of the shower, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's not me, like, it's you. You smell really good." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And, like, it was just awkward because it's like some like old man, and I was like, I can't tell if he's being flirty, and I'm all like, I don't know if I was going on a date. I really don't remember what I was doing, but I mean, I was happy for the compliment. I was like, "Oh, thanks, I smell nice. That's nice to hear. I mean, I am the kind of person who goes to the gym and I won't even change before I go shopping, like, for, like, groceries or whatever. Like, I'm like, I know I smell sweaty and I don't even care. Sometimes I'm like, whatever. But, I don't know. It's just kind of funny, but yeah, that's kind of the stuff that comes to mind. There's other stuff too, like when it's summer, definitely like pool parties, beach related stuff. Like, it can be a little challenging to be like, what do I want to wear? Like, I don't wear like sports bra tops. I don't wear bathing suit, like female bathing suits. I mean, I wear board shorts all the time anyways, but not all the time, but a lot. I wear board shorts often. And so that's not uncommon for me to have board shorts on. And then just kind of hanging out with my friends and stuff. I kind of have my own style. It's hard for me to explain it, like, to the gym or even just like out shopping. Like, I've been liking this brand of t-shirt called Into the AM, and it's like the shirts, some of them glow in the dark and they're cool, like neon shirts. They're fitted, they have nice cotton, and it's just nice fabric. They fit well. I like the medium size. It fits almost like perfectly the way I want a t-shirt to fit. And then so there's those shirts. I have some Quicksilver cargo kind of board shorts. I have some Vissla board shorts and another just no name. Well, I don't know what the brand name is, but I think my Visslas are my favorite, even though they only have one pocket. I like the design. They're like light blue with like dark blue and white, and I like the design on there, and it's like dark blue trim, and like they're like Velcro with like the drawstring, and they're really thin material, but you can't like see through it. They're really comfortable. I just wish they had more pockets, because it's hard for me to fit like my phone, wallet, and keys into one pocket. But yeah, they're really comfortable and they fit really good, and so I like to wear that kind of stuff. Like, it's kind of like my summery look. And I've usually got socks that are kind of like some of them have like video game designs or like Mario designs, and like Mario themed, Nintendo themed. I think I mentioned too once I'm smiling as I say this. One of my favorite directors ever, last Christmas, she gave me as a work Christmas gift men's dress socks that had tacos on them, because she noticed that I like to wear like fun printed dress socks. And it was so cool that it was like, it said just on there, it was like men's dress socks. And I was like, she gets it. Like, I was like, she totally gets it. She knows what's up. And like, I totally wore them the next time I came in the office and everything. So just simple stuff like that, I'm sure I get people confused by like, oh, if this isn't this roommate's, or if it's not your dad's, or if it's yours, if it's not yours and it's your dad's, and like that kind of thing. But but I don't know, I haven't had bad experiences with it. It's just been overall just weird. like I mean, what are people gonna say? Like, oh, you shouldn't wear men's soap? Like, what are they gonna say? Like, you know, it's not like they had to pay for it. It's not like I'm stinking. Like, I'm showering. Like, you should be happy that I'm bathing, you know? Like, what are they gonna do? Complain that I'm wearing underwear and soap and things on my body? Like, I'm not doing anything to anybody, you know? I'm just doing my own thing. And it can be a little awkward in stores too, like if the clerks want to talk to you about it, or like if you're in a certain section where there's like a bunch of like men's underwear at like Ross or something, and you're kind of like lingering around looking at the packages and stuff. Like, I feel awkward. I always also used to always feel really awkward going into like the bras. You know, sometimes they have like the non-packaged, like the bras that are just like a section with just bras just like out in the open. That always made me a little uncomfortable. Like, even now it's kind of like a little weird to go over there, like in that section. Like, I never know, like, it's already weird because it's underwear and people know which ones you're choosing, and you're like out, they're always out in the open. They're never like in a private area. Like, you know, the pantyhose are usually kind of like a little hidden on like a little shelf or like behind the belt or something, but like the bras are just like a whole section right in the middle of the aisle. And it's like, that always made me feel a little weird because people can see you shopping, and it's like just so awkward. So I did used to see that a lot with the bras. And so the bras, definitely the bras. I don't know what else. My mind kind of stopped there. But yeah, I always found it a little bit awkward for me to just be like, oh, there's like bras here, openly, just out in public, just bras. And then, you know, it's not like you can just go and just like choose one real quick and walk away. Like, you have to like look at it and like decide, and like, you know, do you like, is it like underwire? Is it, you know, a clasp? Is it, you know, like, what's the fastening? What are the adjustments looking like? Does it have lace all over it, or is it gonna fit too tight, or is it like padded, or like what's going on here, you know? And then all the sizes and everything, like, it's a little bit of a challenge. I never like shopping for bras. I'd rather just buy a few on Amazon and then just like return them. And that's another thing that I've noticed too. If you don't need something like right away, if you could wait for Amazon Prime or just a regular Amazon delivery, which, by the way, deliveries might be slowing down, but if you can just wait, it does seem to be a little bit better to just be able to wait. Just to order something online, if you do get a lot of stress about it and you actually need to buy stuff, like, and you don't want to waste money, and you don't really have like easy transportation to be going back and forth and returning things, you know, to just buy it online, because then you don't have to deal with other people. Like, you could buy a lot of things online and then just keep what fits, or just, you know, if you know what you like and you have one product that you like, just keep ordering that one, you know. But sometimes they stop making them, or they're harder to find. Like, I remember my Bottega chinos. Those were the most comfortable chinos I ever had, and just the zipper doesn't work. And they're my favorite chinos, and I'm just like, dude, I want to get the zipper fixed and the button because I tried to fix the zipper myself and I couldn't, and they're really my favorite pair of chinos, and so they're like the only pair of dress pants I have. Well, they're not really dress pants, they're just chinos, but they're the only pair of nicer pants that I have that I actually like. I ended up getting a pair of fitted jeans that I kind of like wasn't really too into, but it's a good second option. They're Levi's, I think. I like the feel of them. Before that, I'd only really liked Lucky Brand. I don't really know. But yeah, those are kind of some, I don't know if those are tips, but they're kind of just things that come up, when you're like a little different in something of a gender related way. People, people have different situations than me. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. A lot of people who might wonder what it's like. These are just some things that kind of come up, for me. I mean, I've been glad and lucky in San Diego that, I don't think I've ever lived with somebody who was outwardly prejudiced or who was like, I've had people say stuff about like gay people or whatever, but it's like, people can think whatever they want. I don't really care. Like, as long as they don't start telling me what to do or pushing their agenda on me, I really don't care if their religion or whatever kind of gets in the way of how they can be accepting of, people of same genders dating or whatever combination of people being in relationships. I mean, they don't have to be in a relationship like that, so I don't see why they care, but people have their own opinions, and that's fine. I can still be friends with someone and like somebody if they are prejudiced, as long as, they're not pushing it on me or my friends or my family. They have the right to their opinions, and so long as they're not gonna try to just argue about it all the time, usually I'm gonna be cool. So, yeah, I'll see if I record more about roommates. I'm gonna label this as a roommate series, but I don't really know. I feel like I might go off the deep end with venting and describing. It's still kind of fresh wounds, I'm not I'm not sure if I'm gonna post more. I feel like this is like a good topic for this podcast to post about. I don't know how I could interweave any of the other topics other than just venting about roommates. I mean, those are the majority of the experiences I've had related to like gender presentation kind of stuff. I don't think I've had that many others. I think people get curious, like people I don't live with. People get curious. They get curious mostly, I think. I'm just kind of not when people don't know you, they want to get to know you more. But I've never had somebody I live with getting like way too intrusive on that end. But also, I was more, around like older people. Like I think I was always the youngest person in the house. In my 30s, and so everyone else was like 40 and up. And so I really don't know. Like, it's, like, I've had people make comments and stuff, but, mostly family, but I think usually, like, because I don't really make enemies of people, I don't really think they're too, like, easy to be, like, mean towards me about stuff, because, most people don't tend to have, like, negative interactions with me, and so because of that, I think, people aren't going to use other prejudices against me, and they do seem to be pretty open-minded, just because, I tend to have an easy to get along with type of personality, and I'm quiet, I'm pretty easygoing, I'll socialize a little bit, but I don't like to argue. I don't like to butt heads. I don't like drama. I don't like tension. I try to just be very diplomatic and compromise, like, not compromise my own beliefs, but like collaborate on stuff and like try to come to an understanding about stuff. Like, I try not to be too have too many problems, but yeah, I mean, other than that, there'll be roommates that don't clean, or maybe the room smells, or they don't clean the bathroom, or they leave hair everywhere or water everywhere, and they don't do their dishes, and there might be bugs coming because of them, and there's all kinds of stuff happening sometimes where it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't know what else to say, but with that, thanks for listening.